always, Calista and guys, if you've not subscribed to my channel, please do that now. Help my ministry go. You guys are not being entertained with my beautiful contents. Please subscribe to my channel, and if you like my previous video, please leave a comment in the comment section and like and share. And if there is any video that you want your girl to make, just leave it in the comment section. I'll try my best to do that. And please subscribe, and once you subscribe, please hit the notification button to get notified whenever I upload any video. Because guys, I told you guys, if you have watched my introductory video, you understand what I'm saying. That this channel is not going to be all about myself. It's going to be about us, women in general. Our relationship, marriage, sex, just name it. You are just going to be entertained, and you'll be glad you subscribe to my channel. Please subscribe to my channel. And let's go right into the video. Today's topic. If you've not watched my previous video where I talked about understanding your menstrual cycle, please do that, because you need that to be able to understand what I'm going to talk about now. So for today, we are talking about knowing your fertile period. And what is fertile period? Fertile period is that time in our menstrual cycle or monthly cycle that pregnancy can be achieved or can be avoided. It's either way. For those who don't want to have babies, who don't want to get pregnant, the fertile window is that time of your cycle that you need to abstain from sex. Or even if you must have sex, you should do that with some protection. Yeah, protect yourself from getting pregnant. And for those who wants to achieve or attain pregnancy, it's that period in your monthly cycle that you are advised to have sex. I don't mean everyday sex, every day. Alternate sex. But that is what is advised for couples that are hoping to attain pregnancy. You are advised to have alternate sex. That I will discuss from later on. So before I continue, you need to understand that for the fertile period to occur, there are certain things that has to take place first, and that period is called the uterine cycle. And this uterine cycle occurs in 3 phases. The proliferative phase, which is not constant. Proliferative phase is not constant. It varies between women. Why the secretive, and before I go into the secretive phase, the proliferative phase is basically the repair of the damaged endometrium. Repair of the damaged endometrium. If you've watched my previous video, you understand what I'm talking about now. Because I said menstruation occurs. Menstruation is basically the shedding of the endometrial lining of the uterus. So after that shedding, it needs to be repaired for the next action to take place, which is secretory, which will bring us into the secretory phase. The secretory phase of the uterine cycle is constant because it occurs immediately after ovulation or following ovulation. The secretory phase starts and ends on the day of your bleeding or menstrual cycle. Your menstruation begins. That is when the secretory phase ends. And what happens during this phase? The body prepares the womb for implantation to take place, to house the baby, to nourish the baby, and so that you can bring forth a healthy baby. That is what basically happens in secretory phase. There, a lot of blood is pumped into the uterus, hormones, nutrients, just name it, to get that place set for the baby to be healthy. And that will bring us into the menstrual phase. The menstrual phase is also not constant because it can vary between the 2 days to 7 days. And what do I mean by menstrual phase? That phase where menstruation occurs, bleeding occurs, basically. That is what happens here. Where the shedding of the lining of the endometrium takes place. That is what happens in the menstrual phase. And I guess It's as simple as that. I don't really want to bore you guys with medical terms and jargon. It's just simple as this. And that will bring us to how would you know when you are in your fertile period? Yes, because that is the main topic of today. Knowing your fertile period, how to abstain sex, and when to have sex and when not to have sex. That is today's topic. So I will start with for those who are having a regular cycle. If you don't know what I'm talking about, please go and watch my previous video. I talked about the types of cycle, the regular and irregular cycle. So for someone that has a regular cycle, let me take for example the 28 that has 28-day cycle. Yeah, 28-day cycle. We know that ovulation occurs 14 days. Menstruation occurs 14 days after ovulation. So which divides the cycle into two. For somebody that is having a 28-day cycle, the 28-day cycle, for you to know your fertile period, -2 days from -2 from 14, that is 14 minus 2, which is 12, and you add 2 to the 14, which makes it 16. So it means that your fertile period or window will fall between day 12 in the cycle up until day 16 in the cycle, which means that this period, if you have sex, there's every possibility that pregnancy will take place. For someone who is having the 28-day cycle, from the 12 up until the 16, if you have sex, you are going to what? Attain pregnancy. So if you know you don't want to get pregnant and you don't want the story that touches the heart, then you know what to do. You zip up. Or if you must have sex, because probably we know that they use protection. But if you can abstain from sex, fine and good. And also, let me use for someone again who is having a regular cycle of day 30, you add 2 days to day 16. You know that for cycle of 30 days, ovulation will occur on day 16. So what happens is that you add 2 days to the day 16, which is day 18, and you minus 2 days from day 16, which is day 14, which invariably means that your fertile window will fall between day 14 up until day 18. I hope I'm making it clear so that you guys will understand. Will fall between day 14 up until day 18, which means that if you're having a monthly cycle of 30 days, you are expected to avoid sex from day 14 of your cycle up until the 18 of your cycle. If anything happens within this period, your chances of conception is as good as 100%. So if you don't want to have issues, or you don't want to get, you know what I'm saying, avoid sex, or if you must have sex that period, guys, use protection. At least condom is cheap, or use any other method you can think of. So having talked about regular cycle, I would like also to throw more light on irregular cycle. And if you watch my previous video, you will get the point where I said that I fall among that category of women that experience irregular menstrual cycle. And I'm going to teach you how I was able to overcome the challenge of getting to know when my fertile period occurs. So what I actually did is that I have a previous record of 6 months record of my previous monthly cycle. With that, I took the lowest cycle, which was 28-day cycle, and the highest, which was 35-day cycle. And what I did, if you listen to the part where I talked about the regular cycle, ovulation occurs on day 14 for a cycle of 28-day cycle, and while ovulation takes place on the 21st for a cycle of 35 days. So no, if by chance that your menstrual cycle falls between 28 and 35, which is the lowest and the highest. Now, what you need to do is assume that from day 12 of your lowest menstrual cycle, which is cycle of 28, up until day 23 for the 35 days cycle, is a kind of fertile period. What I mean by this is that your ovulation is likely to take place within any of these days. Ovulation is likely going to take place within any of these days. So maybe let me come again so that you understand it better. For a cycle of 28 days, ovulation occurs on day 14. All you need to do is minus 14 minus 2, which is day 12, which is the beginning of a fertile period for a cycle of day 28. While if you have a cycle of day 35, ovulation takes place on day 12. Ovulation takes place on day 21. So 21 plus 2 will give you 23 days. So what you do is that from that day 12 up until day 23, ovulation is likely going to take place, and that period is also your fertile period window. So all you need to do for someone who don't want to get pregnant or who don't want to achieve pregnancy, you avoid sex from day 12 up until day 23 of that cycle or that in that month, because now you don't know when how many days that month cycle will be. But to be on the safer side, since you already know that no matter what happens, that month cycle will fall between from 28 up until 35 days cycle. So it's advisable you avoid sex from day 12 up until day 23. While for someone who wants to achieve pregnancy, you start having alternate sex from day 12 up until day 23. I guess it's clear this way. You avoid sex from day 12 up until day 23. Or even if you must have sex, you do that with protection. And for someone who wants to achieve pregnancy, you start having alternate sex from day 12 up until day 23. I guess with this, even you'll be able to plan yourself to know when to have sex and when not to have sex. And the essence of alternate sex for women who are trying to conceive is because it takes couple of days for the men to replenish the sperm that they have ejaculated. So if a couple is trying to attain pregnancy, it's not advisable you have sex every day. You have alternate sex. What do I mean by alternate sex? If you have sex today, you have to abstain from sex tomorrow, and you have sex the next day. This is basically what alternate sex is, to enable the man replenish the sperm that has been lost and produce a healthier sperm that will be able to fertilize the egg. But irrespective of this, there are other factors that can still hinder someone who is trying to conceive from getting pregnant, irrespective of following all this pattern and understanding your cycle, which I will not be talking in this video, probably in subsequent video, because I told you guys this video is a series. So I'm going to talk about those factors in subsequent video. Guys, if you like this type of content, please leave a comment in the comment section, like this video, share, and if you have any question, drop in the comment section. I will be glad to attend to your question. And please subscribe to my channel. Guys, please subscribe. You know it's not easy to sit down and talk to people. I knew how long it took me to understand this that I'm sharing with you guys. So please just do me that favor and I will be glad and happy that I see the result of this hard work I'm putting in. So like my videos, subscribe, and hit the notification button so that whenever I upload new video, you'll be the first to know. I love you guys and hope you guys will have a beautiful evening and see you in my next video. Catch you.
you.